Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass, and I'm back again with another dope adventure. Guys, I'm pretty excited for today's abandoned exploration because we're actually not in New England today. Instead, we're in a completely different state, a state I've not yet filmed on this channel. We're going to be exploring an abandoned site in Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania to be specific. We're currently in Lehigh Valley, right outside of the city of Allentown, in a village known as Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania. And here in Hokendauqua are some abandoned ruins of a former ironworks, and you can actually see the ruins directly behind me. Now, these are known as the Thomas Iron Company ruins. They were built all the way back in 1854 by David Thomas, a Welsh immigrant who immigrated to Pennsylvania in 1839. Now, for many decades, this place operated as an iron company, producing many different iron products. Up until the 1920s, when business became much more slow, they sold their company, went through several different hands, up until 1942, when it was officially closed down. So basically 1854 to 1942, that's a long time that this place was kicking around. Today, all that's left are some ruins, as you can see directly behind me, completely covered in brush and vegetation. But that's what we're going to be checking out today, the Thomas Iron Company ruins, originally built in 1854 here in Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania, right outside of Allentown. I'm pretty excited to check this place out, and I do apologize. We're actually right near an airport, so you might hear some loud planes above me throughout the day. Hopefully it's not too distracting. We're gonna get right into it though. I don't know how much is on this property, but I'm just excited to see what it has to offer, and I'm excited to bring you guys on my very first Pennsylvania urbexing experience. You know, if you guys love urban exploration, traveling throughout the United States and exploring abandoned sites, I'm always doing that on this channel. So feel free to subscribe to the channel, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it and check out the abandoned Thomas Iron Company ruins here in Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania in Lehigh Valley. I'm really excited to check it out. Let's see what it has to offer. All right, guys, let's get started and check out the abandoned Thomas Iron Company ruins here in the village of Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania. And as you can already see, these ruins are massive, way bigger than I expected. Now, obviously, I did my research beforehand, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, but damn, these are way bigger than I thought. And this is obviously the primary building. I know there are a couple other ruins scattered on the property. Not really sure where they are yet or how big they are, but this is by far the biggest building we're gonna be seeing today. And this is the one I'm most excited for. So I figured we'd start here. But as we venture inside and see what these ruins have to offer, I'll give you guys a little more of the history. So as I mentioned, David Thomas was a Welsh immigrant, immigrated from Wales to the United States, specifically Pennsylvania, in 1839. And a couple decades later, in 1854, he founded the Thomas Iron Company, built here in Hokendauqua. Now, one thing you need to know about Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania, is that it was actually a company town. A company town is basically a village built specifically for a company or a certain industry. Hokendauqua was a company town for the Thomas Iron Company. And it operated for many, many decades. Several blast furnaces were built in the area, not just Hokendauqua. But by the 1920s, as business was declining, it changed hands between several different buyers. I believe by 1936, Bethlehem Steel actually purchased the property and sold and destroyed a bunch of the assets. And it was in 1942 when it officially closed down. And this is what's left behind. Check this out. Crazy stuff. So again, this thing is massive. There's graffiti everywhere. Huge, huge place. Now I'm coming here in early May, and you can see that the foliage is already starting to bloom. Check this out. I can only imagine what this place is like in the summer, probably filled to the brim with vegetation. But there's some pretty cool graffiti here, I gotta say. Not a lot of duds, which is kind of nice. Damn, huge stuff. I believe that this building is primarily made of concrete, though I do actually see some brick up there. So I see concrete brick and then sort of a steel ceiling up there, which is kind of crazy. The ceiling is completely gone except for the steel frame. Really interesting stuff. The other thing that's kind of weird is some of these entrances are gated off, but then others are just completely open. It's really strange. I don't know, cool stuff. I'm gonna keep wandering around and see what this place has to offer. Holy shit, check this out, guys. Again, I can't harp on how massive this place is. I know it might not really seem it, you know, from the view I'm showing you guys, but this is huge. I mean, even that door right there is significantly bigger than me. I would probably estimate like 20, 25 feet tall. This thing is huge. It's a monolithic structure, way bigger than I was expecting. This is really cool. I love finding ruins, but I love finding huge ruins. These are pretty cool. As you guys probably noticed on my channel lately, I've been on a bit of a bender regarding historic ruins. I think the last couple of videos I did were all historic ruins. So it's been kind of my interest lately. This is kind of cool though. Check this out, a lot of vines growing off the wall. I like that. The concrete walls. A lot more graffiti. One thing I do want to state, so I'm not exactly sure what this specific building was used for. Obviously, this was an iron company. They produced iron products, you know, melted iron, all that stuff. As I mentioned, several blast furnaces were built throughout the late 19th century in this area. But this specific building here, not really sure what it is. So if anyone knows, please enlighten me in the comments. But I would be interested to know what this specific building I'm looking at was, because I couldn't really find much online. Super cool. And then I noticed over here, I saw some other graffiti remnants. So why don't we take a peek really quick and see what those were. Wow, talk about massive, guys. This place is huge, way bigger than I expected. We got some more huge concrete ruins over here, and this one is arguably even bigger than the last. Now, this isn't a fully framed building like the last one, but you can tell that this is remnants of a once monolithic abandoned building for the Thomas Iron Company. So we got one of the walls right here, another wall going over there, and then if you can make it out, there's another wall over there. And then we got remnants of the foundation, another seemingly abandoned wall right here. This place is huge, way bigger than I expected. But yeah, so there was another building right here at some point. This is kind of cool. Again, not fully formed like the other building, but this is why I love finding ruins, because it's almost like a puzzle. You know, you're piecing a puzzle together, what this place looked like during its heyday. You know, with a lot of abandoned sites, you see what the building looked like, you know, before your very eyes, which is fun. But one thing I love about ruins is you don't always know. So it's almost like a mental puzzle trying to decipher, you know, what did this place look like? How did it operate? And I feel like that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. How did this place look when it was, you know, fully formed and functioning? Again, curious what this specific building's function was in the iron company process. Not really sure, but this is massive and a lot of graffiti yet again. Huge place, but you can see the inside now is just forest, rocks, leaves, foliage, that kind of stuff. One thing I did read online is that this place is actually a pretty popular destination for dirt bikers. You can kind of see that right here. Got a dirt bike trail. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this place has essentially been repurposed for bicyclists, dirt bikers, hikers, all that kind of stuff. That is another thing I want to mention. So how did I access this place? Well, it's actually right along the Ironton Rail Trail. The Ironton Rail Trail goes through Hokendauqua and a couple other towns, I believe. It's literally right off the trail. And we're also right next to the Lehigh River, which I believe the Lehigh River produced and harnessed energy and power for the Thomas Iron Company. So pretty cool. Get a lot of history and beautiful nature and scenery around here. But we're gonna head back out to the main building, poke around a little more and see what else is going on at this huge property. I did just really quickly want to show you guys this. This is the other section of that huge building we saw, the one that wasn't fully intact. This is the other side right here. Got this little circular structure, as well as the walls right over there. Again, completely covered and obscured by foliage. But I just want to show you that. That's pretty cool. Also got some more concrete ruins here. I mean, there's just ruins everywhere in this place. It is just a huge jungle of concrete and brick ruins everywhere. It's super cool. And again, it's early May as I walk through, and I'm just surprised by how thick the foliage already is. You know, it hasn't even been summer yet. Crazy stuff. But this is part of the trail that I have to walk through, so catch you guys in a few. All right, so these ruins are kind of tough to show off. They're completely obscured by trees, but I did find some other massive concrete ruins. Check this out. Got one right over here. You look over here, some more ruins. Peeked out way behind the tree line. These things from a distance look huge, almost as big as the building we saw. This thing is huge. I might try to go in and look specifically, but it is super dense, thick in foliage. So I did just want to show you guys the front, but it really is pretty big. I'm gonna peek inside and see if there's something to see. I'm not really sure yet, but just wanted to show you this overhead view of it. You know, guys, it really is crazy to me how many remnants I'm finding in these woods. You know, I'm just aimlessly kind of wandering around, checking out all the different trails, and every trail I take, I find something, you know, some sort of historic ruin relating back to the Thomas Iron Company. Like right here, look at this, got some cobblestone / concrete, looking like almost like a fence or a gate, some sort of brick wall. You got that right there. And then right over here, it might be kind of tough to see, there's another massive concrete wall in the woods. So it's like, no matter where I am, I see these huge concrete structures everywhere relating back to the Thomas Iron Company. I mean, again, keep in mind, these were all built in 1854, abandoned in 1942, like fully. So it's been like a long time, I believe well over 80 years that this place was abandoned and the assets were liquidated. So it's crazy that so much is left behind, you know, despite this long time. Obviously a lot was demolished, but they really did leave behind a lot of structures. It's kind of cool to see firsthand. So I figured we'd take one last peek at this really big building here before we head out. I will do a little more digging after this just to see if I can find any other cool ruins and remnants, but so far I do believe that this right here is the very last one, but I'll take a look. But I just want to peek in one more time with you guys. This thing, again, massive stuff, completely made out of concrete and brick. Peer inside here one last time, see what we got going on. It's really crazy to think that this thing was built sometime in the mid to late 19th century and it's still left behind. I mean, this is really a piece of history. It's like you're getting a glimpse into the past, you know what I mean? That's why I love finding ruins like this. You're getting a glimpse into the past of mid to late 19th century American industrialization. Super cool stuff. And you can only imagine what they must have done in here sometime, you know? Producing iron, making metal castings. I don't know exactly what the Thomas Iron Company produced specifically, but whatever it was, I wonder if it took place in here. Really cool to see though. But I did just want to show you guys one last view in here. I'm gonna walk around a little bit more. There's a couple more trails I haven't gone down yet. See if we can find any other ruins. If they are, I'll show you, and if not, we'll catch you on the next one. But yeah, super cool. Love this building here. This is so cool. All right, we're walking down this trail right now. We've got some more ruins on the way. Nothing too crazy, but I did just want to show you guys. Got some more concrete ruins on the side, a little more graffiti, although this graffiti is a lot more faded. And then the other thing I noticed is throughout the entire trail, there's just random bricks scattered everywhere, you can see. So these bricks, again, are remnants of the Thomas Iron Company. Whether this was a pathway or a building, I don't really know, but you got some more remnants right here. But there's a lot of stuff to see. It's kind of cool. Even if they're not necessarily massive structures, it's still cool seeing these ruins and remnants in the woods as you walk by. It basically tells a story. Sorry, I just tripped down that rock. But yeah, it basically tells a story, you know, as you walk by. You're basically walking through history. Okay, check this out, guys. This is pretty cool. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is actually one of the blast furnaces. I think, could be wrong, but I think this is one of the blast furnaces. It looks like it. Check that out. This is the inside. Obviously not a whole lot in there, but I believe at one point this was some sort of blast furnace, you know, used in the iron making process. That's really cool. And there's a couple other these huge things, which I think could also be blast furnaces. You got these huge, almost looking like jugs, you know, huge jug looking things. Again, my guess is that they're blast furnaces. Not entirely sure though, but these are really cool. I just stumbled across these on this trail. Really cool stuff. Actually, let's take a closer look maybe. Yeah, I'm really curious what these are. I'm just making my best judgments right now. I'm not entirely sure. Ooh, look at this. Another blast furnace. Let's peer inside there really quick. See what we got going on. Got my handy dandy flashlight. All right, let's see. So here's another one of these blast furnaces, or what I believe, or maybe not, actually. Maybe this is a tunnel, because this goes all the way through. Yeah, see? Right underneath the earth right there, you got this thing that looks like a furnace, but it goes all the way through. Let's peer inside for a second. Wow, this is very narrow and very short. I have to like crouch down. Okay, so we're underneath this tunnel thing. I'm not really sure exactly what it was used for. Ah, super cool. Okay, something just touched my hair. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. All right, I felt something touch my hair when I was in that tunnel, looked up, saw a massive spider, and I was like, nope, fuck that. And then I immediately left. Not really a massive arachnophobe, but getting spiders in your hair, nah, I don't want that shit. All right, this is kind of cool. We just got some random rubble right here. Not really a big building or anything, but just some rubble. You can clearly tell this was at one point some sort of building. You even got the foundations left behind. See, foundations down here. So whatever this was, it was a building. I mean, there's even graffiti here. I wonder how recently this was demolished. But yeah, ruins and rubble of a former building. And this is kind of cool. I mentioned this earlier. We're right next to the Lehigh River. Well, there it is. This is the Lehigh River. I think the Thomas Iron Company must have harnessed this for energy at some point. Not entirely sure, but I don't know. Pretty cool to see that. I haven't seen it yet today. But yeah, I got some really weird rubble and remnants right here. I wish I knew exactly what each of these buildings were. Sometimes when I go urban exploring, I'm just not really sure what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Let's walk up here a bit. Tripping on iron bars as well. Yeah, this is strange. So, obviously, as I mentioned, before this officially closed down in 1942, a lot of the assets were sold and changed hands beginning in the 1920s. So the Thomas Iron Company sold their assets starting in the 1920s. They changed hands many times. And I know the last one to purchase was Bethlehem Steel back in 1936. And when Bethlehem Steel purchased the property, they liquidated a lot of the assets, and I believe they're the ones who actually demolished most of the buildings. Not all of them, but most. So really, as of 1936, a lot of the buildings that once stood on this property were demoed. And by the way, if you're curious, Bethlehem Steel was actually one of the largest steel manufacturers in the entire country at one point, located nearby in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, here in Lehigh Valley. So pretty cool stuff. So I think this is the last thing we're going to be seeing today here in the Thomas Iron Company ruins property here in Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania. I don't know what this is, but it looks like another tunnel, although this one is significantly larger than the tunnel we were just in, which I still sort of think was a blast furnace, to be honest. Maybe a water well, I don't know. But anyways, this thing is way bigger. I don't know exactly what this structure was, but this is the second biggest structure I've seen on the property after that big building we first explored. So this thing is also pretty damn big. Again, a lot of graffiti as usual. Let's head right over here. Damn, what is this place? I mean, obviously this was a building, but I'm curious like what exactly, you know, kind of building it was. It's just so strange. Like, you see what I mean? It has like a weird archway. Like there's an archway right here. I almost thought at first it was like maybe a railway, you know, a railroad or some sort of transportation hub. This thing is massive though, look at this. So one thing I don't think I even mentioned yet, the way that the iron was transported and distributed from this place was of course railroads. Keep in mind, this is the 1800s we're talking about, and the primary method of transportation, especially for raw materials and major products, was by rail. I mean, rail stretched everywhere throughout the United States. So there was a network of railroads that connected the Thomas Iron Company to its destinations. I don't know the exact names of the railroads. I'll try to include them below, you know, when I do my research while editing, but that's my guess. Maybe this was part of the railroad, or at least like an unloading station. I don't know why. That's just kind of the vibe I get. I could be completely incorrect, and I most likely am, but that's kind of my guess. This is so strange. This is weird, honestly. Obviously, the big building we first explored was like the coolest thing we saw today, but this is the weirdest and strangest, and this is arguably piquing my interest a little bit more. Ooh, some stairs leading up. Let's check those out. I really don't know what to expect when we're up here, climbing up those stairs. Not too much, just a little trail. I wasn't sure if this was going to be like a huge concrete foundation. Whoa. So those are the stairs we just walked up. And you can kind of see in the distance way over there is the other big building we explored, the big brick building. Let's just peek around over here a little bit. mostly dense forest. Though I do see something here. Some really dangerous looking stairs. All right. Yeah, we're on top. We are officially on top of this huge concrete structure. This is pretty cool. Not a whole lot up here, but I did just want to take a peek and see what was going on. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath right now. A little out of shape. Very cool, guys. This was super cool to check out. This is the top of this mysterious structure. That's where we were, down there below. Yeah, very cool stuff. This was the Thomas Iron Company ruins here in Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania. Really cool. I enjoyed checking this out. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. I've been J-Mass as always, and this has been another dope adventure. So today we checked out the Thomas Iron Company ruins here in the village of Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania, right outside of Allentown, here in Lehigh Valley. Really cool abandoned site. There was actually a lot more remnants and ruins here than I expected there would be, so that was really cool to see. But you know, as I mentioned, David Thomas was a Welsh immigrant. He immigrated here to the United States in 1839. And then in 1854, founded the Thomas Iron Company. Operated for many, many decades until the 1920s when they sold off, changed hands several times. By 1936, Bethlehem Steel purchased them, liquidated most of their assets. By 1942, it was essentially and completely gone, abandoned. And most of the property's been demolished. Most of what we saw today were just the leftover remnants and ruins. That was pretty cool. This was obviously an ironworks company. It made a lot of iron products. And as I kind of alluded to throughout the video, iron and steel and metalworking was a very common and popular manufacturing industry in this area. So really cool to see that firsthand. Also just really gorgeous area. One thing I didn't say yet, I've seen so many deer on my hike today. I've probably seen, no joke, like 8 or 9 deer. There's so many deer in this area. So that was really cool to see. But anyways, guys, I'm glad you joined me on my very first Pennsylvania urban exploration video. If you guys love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, exploring New England and beyond, well, feel free to subscribe to the channel, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But I've been JMass here in eastern Pennsylvania, the Thomas Iron Company ruins here in Hokendauqua, Pennsylvania. Really cool stuff. Glad I got to bring you guys along, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.